want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. Now this is my thing. This is about the second time I done seen something online, and I'm seeing all of this stuff here. Right now, I grew up with Dragon Ball Z when it was Dragon Ball. Right, and I'm just trying to figure out who were the people complaining? Like when I was younger, all right, yeah, I would sit up there and just look at the cartoons. I'm like, hey, do I see anybody that technically, is reflective or that, looks like me? Because as a kid, it's like, you want to see something that looks like you. Other people don't understand this because whenever it is that they have cartoons out there, there's usually a representation of them. So let's say if they're Asian, guess what? Their cartoons are Asian, right? No matter if the characters look phenotypically white, they are still Asian because they're hand drawn, created, thought of, produced, pushed out by everybody Asian. So it doesn't matter what the character looks like, they're Asian, right? So I get that. When you look at America and you think about, Marvel and DC, right? Those are publications that have been founded and made by Caucasian individuals. So they're going to do things from their perspective. In their world, maybe black people don't exist. Nobody exists. It's just a world that is just them. And it's reflective of those things and the things that they see within themselves. Like, hey, we don't really commit any type of violence. So in our world, it's just perfect. It's a utopia. Nothing goes wrong, right? Everybody has blue hair and blonde eyes, right? That type of thing, right? So I get it. I understand it. And once I got older and I gained that knowledge, right, over time, it didn't become a problem. It was like, it is what it is. I would just enjoy the show for, you know, what it is. And here we are right now where supernaturally, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball Z, stated that this is a Japanese franchise made by Japanese people for Japanese people. It's not your show, it's ours. The thing people complain about continue to change over time, but Japan's racial demographics do not. They, black people, do not live here. And then later on, when questioned about Mr. Popo, a racist depiction of a black individual in the show, Akira Toriyama said, I love Mr. Popo. He's a hilarious character, but maybe you're right. If I could go back in time, I would write 3 of him into the story to avoid all of this drama. Mr. Popo isn't going anywhere, right? Now, when it came to certain things dealing with Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, I automatically knew that there were some things stemming, when it came to racism, things of that nature. Mr. Popo being one of them. So, just in case you don't know what Mr. Popo looks like, let me show you the character. So, this is Mr. Popo, all black with a turban, jewels, big red lips, so black that his hands are gray, right? He is a servant to the god Kami. He is a helper, when it comes to Kami's lookout. Um, he also, is quite, powerful in his own, right to an extent. But the fact still remains that Mr. Popo is a racist caricature. It is exactly what it is. You also had an episode where, Goku went into a village and you saw somebody that was almost looking like Aunt Jemima. So just in case people, don't understand what it is that I'm stating, I'm going to make it pretty apparent to you. These are characters throughout the history of Dragon Ball Z. And in the middle, you see a man who used to do a minstrel show in blackface. Do you see the main common theme here? You see the skin color, you kind of sort of see the hair, but the one main thing that they all have that is a glaring detail is what? The large red lips. And it's the exact same thing that the Caucasian man, right, did in minstrel shows. So again, I know that Dragon Ball Z has a history and still has some characters in there, if not still current, that have this type of thing there. I know that this type of thing still exists in a variety of animes. And for me, I just look at it as, hey, it is what it is. I can either decide not to watch it, or I could decide to still watch it, right? Now, this is some information I'm just going to have placed up there for those who might want to read it. This information is technically from the newer. This is like Dragon Ball Super, so they added some stuff. They kind of like retconned, some things because they added like Beerus, who was a god of destruction, and all of these other types of things. Added it to the story to connect it to Super. Um, but the main thing about the Saiyan race, or Saiyajin race, is the fact that these are people from a whole different planet that are deemed fairly strong physically, have a very great battle prowess, very muscular, and they also increase after every battle, or every defeat. No matter pretty much what happens, they increase, but it becomes greater when they get to a situation where it is near death. Um, Saiyans are also born with tails because they are have a lineage, right, from apes and different things of that nature. If you technically get where I'm going here, these are some of the same things that we have heard in the United States of America, that black people are this, black people are that, and you know all this other type of stuff, right? So when a Saiyan happens to, with a tail, looks at the moon, they turn into a great ape. And you can kind of see that directly in the background amongst the Saiyans that are directly here. You can pretty much see a lot of them all have their tails still, except for Broly. I'm not sure exactly. That's the older Broly, so he doesn't, have his tail or whatnot. I think I forgot. It's been a while, but any moment in time that they happen to look at the moon, or if they can produce an artificial moon, because Saiyans have the ability. Certain ones that are taught, who are in the military, like Vegeta and Nappa, they have the ability to basically produce energy to produce a luminous orb that is a false moon. And when they look at it, they'll directly go into this great ape form, and they'll go on a raging rampage, destroying, everything around them. So, just in case people don't understand where I'm going, it's going to get a little bit deeper, right? So, then when you get into the aspect of Frieza, so Frieza, who is in a sense a lizard, but when you pretty much look at Frieza uh, body wise in his later forms, he's pretty much white skin, everything. He just got like a little bit of purple, here and there. He is, in a sense, the person that is in charge of the rest of the Saiyans that exist, because he destroyed Planet Vegeta during the time. And this was based off of the threat and the fear and the potential that the Saiyans, in a sense, had. And he was like, well, if there's a possible chance that they can get strong enough to basically rival me or to cause a problem, I'm just going to get rid of them now while they're young, while they don't even have that realized potential. And he created a death ball, sent it directly into the core of the planet, and blew that planet directly up. But if you realistically think about it, Frieza, being exactly who he is in a sense a slave master. Why do I say this? Due to the fact, when you listen to Frieza and the way that he speaks, he always refers to the Saiyans as monkeys.
You monkey! Monkey? Hello, monkey!
You're nothing but an overgrown monkey!
Keep running, monkey.
Nothing but a monkey!
Fitting image of Goku, poor thing. He's clearly that monkey's offspring. The creatures start procreating left and right!
So, because of this and many other reasons, I've always felt that the Saiyans were, in a sense, white, but describing and disguised as black, right? And that the Frieza race, which seems to be only like a few of them, they seem to be the slave owners, the slave masters, telling the Saiyans, the slaves, what it is that they need to do and how it is that they need to go about it. If not, then they will be exterminated. As you can clearly hear Frieza say in his last statement, Hey, poor child, he was born in that monkey's image. If only they would stop procreating, right? Almost somewhat similar to some of the things that Margaret Sanger has also stated about black people. But like I said, I took it as is. I still continue to watch Dragon Ball Z, still watch Dragon Ball Z still to this day, knowing all of the things that are directly in it. The same way that I might just so happen to peruse and watch American television, knowing the exact way that black characters are portrayed and demonized, or how they're written in, or how it is that they try to demasculate, like I said, a variety of things. Um, People make choices on what it is that they want to watch. And, people overlook certain things. Sometimes people won't overlook certain things. A great many a times I've sat up there and called out these things dealing with anime and cartoons in general. When it deals with how it is that they will portray black people. But again, it is what it is, because it, as Akira Toriyama said, it is a show not made for black people. It is made for them, by them. Right. And he also stated that, black people don't live in Japan, which you do have, it might be a very small minority, but you do have some black people in Japan. You do. That would be like me sitting up here saying, like, there are, no, Japanese people, directly in America. Nah, there's Japanese people here. There might be few far and in between, but there are Japanese people here. Um, hey, like I said, it is what it is. Do I expect it to change? No. Do I want it to change? No, because I don't care. Like I said, it is what it is. And the main thing that I keep happening to tell people all the time is that, hey, if you don't happen to really like something, if you want 100% just adamantly and vehemently, dislike something, then don't sit up there and look at it. Don't listen to it. Don't partake in it. All of those things. That's what I sit up there and tell people at the end of the day, because no matter where you sit up there and go, you're going to deal with somebody else's universe, like whatever story that they conjured up, and you have to deal with how it is that they perceive or see the world, or see those characters and or those people, and how it is they describe them, write them in, write them out, all of those types of things. So again, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and I would love to see the people who started this, because I was not on the board. I wasn't even a fly on the wall. I didn't know anything about this uprising on, yeah, we gotta, talk to Akira Toriyama about putting more black people. Like I said, I don't know nothing about this, and I watch anime. I've never heard anything about this. This is the first that I've heard of it. And this is like, it's pretty ridiculous. Like I said, I don't know who did this. And I'm pretty much assuming that it's those who, in a sense, consider themselves social justice warriors that want to speak on the behalf of other groups, which literally doesn't make any type of sense at all, because we can pretty much speak for ourselves. And, you know, Black Americans will speak directly with, their pockets, with their wallets, and and different things of that sort. So yeah.